Casey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I literally, and I'm so embarrassed right now. Taya's probably laughing at me right now. I I just did like an introduction of myself and then was asking you a question and I realized I was muted the entire time.
Yeah, I thought you was talking to somebody else. That's why I was like,
I'm so sorry. Oh my
you're
I
goodness.
didn't
All
good.
right,
see
we'll
you either, Bobby.
scratch. All right, we'll scratch that. We'll start from the beginning. I'll give you the spark notes. I'm Bobby Cortez. I'm the admissions and recruitment coordinator here at the BSW program for the Kent School of Social Work and Family Science. So I'm an alumni of the program as well. So I went through a little background about me. So I was a first generation college student, a transfer student from JCTC. I also worked the Metro College program. So I worked at UPS throughout my entirety of being here at the Kent School. So they were really able to, I believe in the program, I believe in the work. So I've been a practicing social worker on the field for about 12 years. And then before coming back to kind of share my experiences, my knowledge, and my passion for social work for this next generation of students coming through. Really trying to just make a change and promote the idea of social work because I've seen the work in practice. I've seen, things that go on behind the doors and everything like that. So I just want to be as open as honest and share all my experiences with everybody I come into contact with. So that's just like a little bit about me. You want to tell me just a little bit about you and kind of why you're here right now?
Yes. Well, my name is Casey Woodrow. Um, this is my last semester at JCTC. I just went back to school after being in school, not being in school for 10 years, and I just decided to do something different. My first degree is in early childhood education. And so now that I have children of my own, I kind of want to come out the classroom. So it made me decide to go back to school last summer, and here I am graduating in May with associates in arts. And I've always been wanting to like be an advocate to help families and things. But just working in childcare sometimes that isn't always an option, you know what I'm saying? So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I wanted to come out the classroom to be able to help families and individuals that, this just made me help.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you for doing what you're doing. Congratulations too on like your
Thank you.
upcoming
Thank you.
degree. I mean, I from experience, it's hard work. It all is. So, all the sacrifices, the late nights, the papers, the books you didn't want to read, the papers you didn't want to write, like it's worth it. It definitely is. So yeah, I just want to tell you congratulations on that. Um, and then as we go through, there's some things that we'll do related to kind of working with families, some for like the state. Of course, there's a lot of different nonprofit works and things uh, that are here in Louisville and around in like E-Town, everywhere kind of around the state. But
Hmm.
if you have questions, like I said, feel free to just stop me along the way. This is just you and I right now. Taya is with us on kind of the online services things here at U of L too. So they're just kind of monitoring if we have technical difficulties, they'll be able to help there to help us out. So this is kind of just informal, you and I doing this. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen and I'll get started with the presentation. All right. Just make sure you can see that. All right. Okay. I think you can see it. You're muted, but I saw your mouth going, so I think you could see it. So
Oh, I just said I'm just moving somewhere a little bit so I can get, focus.
okay, yeah, yeah, you're good. I'll wait. I'll wait. You just let me know when you're ready.
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. So we already kind of went over this. You're here for the info session for the Kent School of Social Work, specifically that BSW program. So we'll just get right into it. So social work, really, what is it? You probably know, but we kind of have like this professional definition we like to use. And it's the professional activity of helping individuals, groups, families, communities really enhance and restore the capacity for social functioning in the world. In addition to that, it's really creating societal conditions that are favorable for that goal because we can empower people, families, communities to be the best version of themselves, give the tools. But if we don't have, um, the systems that make up the world that we live in aren't set up equitably for everyone, it doesn't matter how we empower you. If the whole system in the world we live in is against, then it's much more difficult to be, the best version of yourself.
Mhm.
So 3 questions also we like to ask people. So these are three just, social work for you. Are you good at maneuvering through complex situations? Because as a social worker, You're going to have a caseload. You're going to have different things going on at once. It's usually a fast-paced environment. You may have these case management notes you've been sitting on that you got to get turned in. At that same point, you might have a client that calls you who's in crisis, where you got to figure out, use those critical thinking skills of what can I do right now, what needs my attention, and then being able to move kind of in that order.
Okay.
Two, do you have a passion for helping vulnerable and marginalized individuals, families, and communities? And let's just face it, these are typically the individuals that are reaching out for the assistance of a social worker, right? You know, if life is just going great, no issues, we're fine, then they're not going to be the ones really reaching out to a social worker. But also on the
Mm-hmm.
flip side, a lot of times things will appear to be that way on the outside, but literally then a lot of times there's more things kind of going underlying. So you answered yes
Okay.
to that one. It should be good. Third one, do you have a passion for advocacy and promoting social justice? And these are really key components, key values, and pillars of social work. Give me 1 second. They're mowing outside, and it is so hot in this building, so I got to close my window right now.
Mhm.
These old buildings are hot. They still got the heat on.
Oh yeah.
Uh, it's wild. But so back to the third one, passion for advocacy, promoting social justice. So these are pillars of social work. So along with, you know, promoting diversity, equity, you know, self-determination, you know, we're promoting social justice, um, diversity. We're advocating on behalf of our clients in hopes that eventually they'll be able to be empowered and have the tools to be able to advocate for themselves. Right.
Okay.
So you answered yes to all three of those. We think you're in the right spot. So this is sort of a list that we put together, different career opportunities that you can do with a social work degree. So you kind of know the area that you want to go into and work in with families. So that is great. But just for like some people don't really know, and just to give an idea of how general and how broad somebody can you can go with a social work degree. So they're working in hospitals, they're working in education, in the school systems. People are working in criminal justice systems, politics, mental health agencies, therapists, counselors. You know, a lot of these areas, if you pick an area or anything like that, most likely there's a role that a social worker may have in that. In
Okay.
addition to that, a lot of people in like these larger Fortune 500 companies are like, you know, they're outsourcing sort of those EAP programs where people are understanding that, hey, if I have employees that are struggling or going through some things, if I can help them mentally, emotionally, then they're going to be happier and healthier employees. So they're going to, and then turn, kind of create a more positive work and output for that company. So it's sort of like a win-win for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And just an area that, you know, has been gaining more traction here lately. I just wanted to share too, because that's something that really kind of surprised me as well. So this is our team right here. This is the BSW team. We're a small but mighty group right here in the Kent School. So this is Gary Uracy. I'll start from the right. He is one of our academic advisors. Next to me is our manager of student success and our other academic advisor, Anna O'Connell. Our associate director of admissions, Sarah Springer, and then our director, Dr. Armand Perry. Is awesome. So, fun fact about Dr. Armand, he was my intro to social work professor many, many, many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he is fantastic. If you ever get a chance to take one of his classes, hear him speak, pop by his office. Um, he's a real one, and he's definitely one that I would really encourage people to be able to interact with and chat with. So, you never know who is going to be on your side, or you might need down the future. You know, it's not, you know, what you know, but who you know. Sometimes they say
Mm-hmm.
that. Sometimes, you know, it they're not wrong when they say that. But yes, that's our team right there. So I'll go ahead and go on to the program highlights. So in total, our program is 120 credit hours. Students must maintain a minimum of a 2.5 GPA to remain in good standing. You could do this online, on campus, or a hybrid of the two. Same thing with full-time, part-time routes. Um, Really, a lot of our students are working students, students that have families, that have other obligations, that need online, need some in person, and it's been that way since well even before I was attending this program. So Our advisors, our team, were used to being able to create these pathways for people who need more of an individualized plan. So
Mhm.
just to let you know that. In addition, that 120 credit hours is split up into two different divisions, the lower division and the upper division. And those are typically about 60 hours apiece. So I'll go ahead and let you know about the lower division. So this is roughly the first 31 credit hours. This is like your cardinal core, your general education stuff, which you will get that gen ed certified, block certified once you graduate with your associates. And you said it was in arts?
Mhm.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. So you would be all certified for these. The one thing I would want to let you know is we do have some supporting prereqs that we ask students to go to in the upper division for when they apply to the upper division, which is more of our professional phase of the program, which typically is your junior and your senior year. I'll talk about that in just a second. Um, but we typically have these other supporting prereqs that BSW 101 you won't need to worry about. That's like a social work orientation for those with less than 24 hours. But an intro to social work course, a human anatomy and bio course, stats, and an intro to psych and intro to sociology are some courses that we like our students to be able to have um, before they apply. Now, they
I'm
can
in
still
intro
apply.
sociology right now.
You're in sociology right now?
With a
Okay,
stand with an
sweet.
A.
Have you had any of these other ones either? And they might be under different names. Like this would be more like a human services course. This one could be like um, any bio anatomy course. So this is listed as like BSW because we have like a BSW social work class that covers these things. Same with the statistics, but like a regular math statistics or a stats class. Even some psychology and other courses would qualify for those, but it depends on how they transfer over.
Okay.
And then in addition to that, general electives that students would take, which is typically another 13, 29, which would add up to about 60 credit hours. Um, but you would, for the most part, be good to go with regards to you having your associates, minus maybe some of these prereqs, right? And
Mhm.
what we say, so say you've got these taken care of and you have like three. So we ask students to try to get them to have all of those prereqs done before their first year in the upper division, simply because a lot of these lay down the really a lot of the foundational work that the upper division will really want you to have before you go up into that professional phase. Not to
Mhm.
say that like we're not going to admit you if you still need most of these, but what happens is we don't want you to maybe, all right, I'm admitted to upper division, I'm going to go through the whole program, and then I'm going to get to be able to graduate, and I haven't taken these courses. So then now you got to go back and take classes with like freshmen or sophomores, maybe prolong a semester or something like that, or a summer. So we're just trying to do our best to set you up for success.
Okay.
Cool. So the upper division. So like I said, this is the professional phase of the program. It is very sequential in its order. So you're going to take all these courses and then you will kind of build upon each one. So you'll take, for example, general human behavior in the social environment. We call HIPSE. You'll take that first version of that class. Next semester, you'll take HIPSE 2, HIPSE 3, same things with some of the other courses. So it's really kind of sequential where it builds on itself. But you'll take, in addition to that, a bunch of general practice courses, welfare policies courses, intro to social work research, diversity, oppression, and social justice courses, along with practice seminar and labs, and then a lot of social work electives that we offer. And it's really the electives are a really cool spot for students to kind of dive into a little more of like areas of concentration they might be interested in. So those that are interested in the child welfare sector, there's courses on that. Those are interested in like human sexuality, working in gerontology, mental health, motivational interviewing, um, all of these sort of classes that will offer students to kind of just get a glimpse into dive a little bit deeper into that specific topic.
Okay.
Cool, cool. And also, what you're going to do, and this will take place the senior year of the upper division, you will do a practicum, which is our social work word equivalent for an internship. Now, basically, what you're going to do with this internship is you're going to take all the skills, the models, the theories that you've been learning in the classroom and really apply those to the real world, right? Under the direct supervision of licensed social workers. So in this, you're actually going to complete this the entirety of your senior year. It is 16 hours per week. And this will really be sort of the culmination of that social work education. We put on there Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and that is sort of like up for change depending on what agency you end up being partnered with. But we put that time there because typically these are working agencies working normal work hours, typically 8 to 5, 9 to 5, something like that. Um, I had an individual circumstance where I was working night shifts, so like not getting off work until 6 o'clock in the morning, and then being an internship from 8, to work with people. It wasn't feasible for me. So I did mine with a nonprofit that did programming in the school system. So I was there about midday until we did youth programming after school for youth and families. So some days I was out of there at 6, some days I was out of there at 8 o'clock. So that was just my individual
Mm-hmm.
um, experience. But what I say to students is, first of all, we have a whole team dedicated to the practicum experience. So they will communicate with all of our students, let them know when they need to sign up to do their orientation for practicum. They'll talk to you, kind of let you know, or you'll let them know kind of what you're interested in, what you want to do. And they have partnerships and agreements with thousands of agencies across the state, across the country, and even internationally, because we have a large online cohort as well. So they'll start working with you to kind of set up interviews, get you in line and connected with these agencies. But what I will say, what I always say to students is there's only so many agencies and so many students that particular agencies can take. And some are more popular to work for than others just because they're more established and larger organizations here in town. So what I always tell people, just a word of advice, like be on it when that time comes around.
Okay.
Don't wait on that email. Don't, I mean, just send it, do it then and there, um, because it gives you more of a chance to get to where you really want to be.
Okay.
And this is really like just one of the coolest programs too. So I ended up working for the nonprofit I worked for about 10, 11 years ago. It's been over 10 years I worked for that nonprofit. So here in Louisville, called Family and Children's Place.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, you familiar with them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I worked in there with the school-based services department there. So started with an internship, was able to network, establish those relationships. And a lot of the students that go through this practicum experience and that are working hard and showing up and making sure they're doing the work will get offered opportunities. So
Okay.
just some food for thought.
Bosses are not here, so yeah.
And then, so the lower division application, this is not necessarily an application for it. When you apply to U of L, you'll send all your transcripts and things like that, especially for you being a transfer student. Um, what you want to make sure is just you have all of your transcripts, the official ones sent in. They'll take a look at that. And then you will just make sure that you list social work as your intended major. So what will happen is from the lower division, you'll list it as your intended major. You'll get accepted to the university. You'll get automatically put in the lower division. And then you will have to apply. We have a secondary application process, which I think is the next slide. Yes, right here. So the secondary application process is always open for the next semester. So for right now, we are waiting. We're in the application process for the fall start. And then the same thing. So next semester we'll be doing for the following. So, and you will be graduating when with your associates, you said?
May 12th.
Okay. So you are going to be eligible to be able to apply if you would like to start in the fall.
Okay.
So the only two requirements to be able to be eligible to apply are up here. So we have a cumulative GPA of a 2.5 or higher, and then completion of at least 45 credit hours. So you meet those two requirements, you're eligible to apply.
Yeah. Well,
Now,
now my GPA is a 3.086.
so you're more than ready. And then you probably have 45 credit hours right now, but by the time you graduate, you'll have what, 60, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would suggest waiting until you graduate, because if you can go ahead and apply, but what you're going to need to do is when you apply to U of L, they'll ask you for your transcripts. And then when you apply to the upper division, we're going to need your updated transcripts. So in, if you're not, you don't have your final grades because you're already taking classes right now, you would have to pay to have them sent again. Now, of course,
Okay.
if you want to do that, we won't stop you. But for me, I would wait and just send it once, save you $20.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm gonna wait. Because I'm
Yeah.
also in an OSHA program at you here too.
Yes. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah. So, and Ultra helps out as well. So I think they also help send transcripts as well.
Yeah, because they're the one who told me just to go ahead and finish my degree instead of transferring over to Louisville.
Yes.
So they was like,
That
just
that
finish
is
up what I have and then just transfer over.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would suggest, and that's exactly what I did on my way because quite frankly, the classes are going to transfer over, and you're paying a fraction of what you're going to pay here. You know,
Okay.
so within that application, the main portion it's really consists of kind of general demographics, your educational history, volunteer work history. The main portion is going to be a statement of purpose. All right. And the statement of purpose, I'll give you the two questions they ask so you can kind of just be thinking on them. Um, but the two questions you choose one. One is, um, what is a social? Oh goodness, now I'm blanking on it again. I just reviewed a bunch of. What is a social work? Um, oh gosh, now look at me now here. Look at me go. Let me find it. The second one I know for a fact is, as a social worker, we work with diverse um, backgrounds, work with students of diverse. Oh goodness, now I'm moving this. That would leave it right there. Work with people of all backgrounds, views, perspectives. And as a social worker, we're ethically bound to work with all of our students. So, how would you handle working with somebody who really struggle with on a value, or ethically they were different, or what would be a subject that or a population you might find it difficult to work with, and then how would you then kind of be able to turn that thing around? How would you be able to provide them the services that you were ethically bound to do, while also still maintaining those personal balances? The second one is going to be, name a social work concern that is important to you and how you might go about working to create change around that issue. And they're not really asking you to solve the problem. So we're not asking you to solve like homelessness or any of these things, but they're really looking at you to sort of understand and think critically on some of the values of social work and how you might go about creating change. So, really, just getting to know about you as a person and how you connect with some of these social work values.
Okay.
Okay. Another thing, you must be accepted to U of L before you're able to um, request the BSW upper division application. The reason for that is we have a lot of personal information of student IDs, academic records, and things. And we want to just create that and have all those emails sent through our U of L secure system. So we just want to make sure we um, are falling in line with all of the FERPA guidelines, really just to keep everybody's information safe and secure.
Okay.
Cool, cool. And then alcohol and drug counseling track. This is one of the only tracks we offer in the BSW program. So this is be for students interested in drug and alcohol counseling. Um, During the upper division, if you're interested in this track, you would just select a box that we have in the application. And we just ask that you would use this topic as the central subject matter of your statement of purpose. Additionally, within that track, you would be required to take 4 of these electives throughout your time in the BSW program. And those would be substance use and substance use disorders, special issues in alcohol and drug, blah, 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 special issues in alcohol and drug counseling. There we go. Motivation and change and mental health.
Okay.
Cool. And I know I'm seeing we got more people in here now, which was raised. And I thought it was just kind of us in there for a minute, Casey. So everybody else on here, welcome. I'm sorry, I'm just now welcoming you like halfway through the program, but we're all doing it here on a on a Thursday. Um, Wednesday, excuse me. I just got back from vacation, so I'm trying to get back into the order of things. But this is a program in collaboration with the state. So DCBS, CHFS, if y'all have heard those acronyms, specifically for those that are interested in working in the child welfare sector. And what this program does is it's sort of like a give and a take. So basically, the state will give you a $1,300 stipend each semester in the upper division. They will pay for your last 4 semesters, so the entirety of the upper division. And then you will get job placement after graduation, and they offer a paid practicum. You are required to do your practicum with the state during your senior year, but it's there, it's guaranteed to be paid, and you get guaranteed job placement as long as things go well after graduation. So a stipend, tuition, paid practicum, job placement after graduation. The catch, you agree, well, basically they're helping you out for 2 years. You contractually must agree to work for the state for 2 years following graduation. So there is the catch. The kind of they invest in you for 2 years and you invest in them for 2 years. And it must be following your graduation. The coordinator for that program is Emily Watts. They are faculty here on site with us at Kent School. You can email them, give them a call, or if you want to just do some independent information investigation, childwelfareprep.com. You can find all the information about this program there if that's something that you would like to pursue.
Okay, I had a quick question about that.
Yeah. What's up?
So for whatever reason, you don't work with them for 2 years or something happens or whatever, um, what does that look like?
If you end up not, then it would technically be like a breach of contract, and then you have to pay back. I believe it's just the tuition. I believe. However, I don't want to speak without being 100% sure on that. So I would actually maybe direct that to Emily, either a phone call or that. And actually, I'm going to see them here later on this week. So I'm going to actually take that question as well, just to see and educate myself. But
Okay,
thank
thank
you.
you.
Uh-huh.
Is it somehow you once you talk to them, you'll be able to email me or something to give me, um, the information of what they say?
Yes, I can. And then also, let me see if I can find it and put it in the chat somewhere. If I can do that. They are doing some info sessions as well. Let me move this over here. See if I can find it. 2000 spring info. Yeah, I think I can do that. I'm going to drop something into the chat for us. Just going to drop this right here. For the sessions flyer. Can I just drop it? So I will actually send that in afterwards. So I can send it to you if you want to just give me your email. If you want to wait till everybody else kind of pops out of here, I'd be happy to do that. But I'm going to go ahead and go back to the presentation really fast. But yeah, so what I was looking for is the schedule for their info sessions. Basically, they'll do some during the day, like I had here, some in the evening. You can sign up and just do learn a little bit more about that program and a little more in depth from Emily. So this here is our advanced standing MSSW program. So what this simply means is students that have a BSW degree and only a BSW degree can apply to the advanced standing masters, which cuts the traditional master's program from 60 credit hours in half to 30 credit hours. So it really allows you to save half the time and half the money with gaining that graduate degree, which who would not want to fast track it and save some money along the way. Of course, you don't have to. However, a lot of our students really do want to do that. And that's one of the benefits of having a BSW, because if you have a degree in, say, sociology, psychology, Criminal justice, you automatically must do the 60-hour program. So admissions for that, a preferred 3.0 cumulative GPA and a preferred 3.25 GPA in the social work foundational courses. So those are the ones you take in the upper division. So essentially it's preferred. So even if you don't have that, you are able to sort of write an essay, a statement of purpose to really combat and say why you, don't have that.
Yeah.
So if you don't have that, don't take that as, you can't get in the advanced standing program. You definitely stand a chance. So again, so another program that we have is called the Soaring Scholar Program. So we're really about, giving people a efficient and smooth ride through their education process. So what this is for really high achieving students who have a 3.75 social work GPA after their first semester of the upper division, and then a 3.5 cumulative GPA of all courses across all your institutions. They will be notified about their sort of invited to this program. And essentially, what it allows students to do is to take 9 credit hours that will apply to their BSW degree and towards their master's degree during the senior year of their BSW program. So essentially, those elective slots, you will take those graduate courses. And the kicker for that one as well is you'll take those graduate courses, but only pay undergrad prices for those 9 credit hours. So it really allows you to save some money and gain credits that will count towards your master's degree before you technically are in your master's degree program. So the living learning community, also, this is essentially what it sounds like. You're going to live together, you're going to learn together, and you're going to build community with one another. So this is essentially where our students in the social work LLC is what we call it. We'll be living together in the Betty Johnson Hall. And it's not like one giant dorm or anything but everybody will have kind of their individual areas with maybe a roommate. But it really allows you to really build connections with like-minded individuals who kind of share some of the same interests as a social work major. We do different workshops, different field trips, different community-wide service events, specifically with those students. So it really just allows you to, gain a sense of community for those that are interested in essentially the same things as you are. So pretty much that's the end. So what you can do now, maintain good relationships with your professors. You really don't know like when you're going to see them again, when you might need something for them. You might be working for them one day, as it was for me. You saw the number, like cumulative GPA of 2.5. Keep it up above a 2.5 if you can. And then you have to apply through the office admissions to U of L before you're able to actually apply to the upper division, just if that's where you're at right now, in the same case as Casey. And then once you're admitted, we'll schedule an initial onboarding advising appointment with you. It'll either be Gary or Anna to be able to kind of discuss your steps of how you want to really do this thing. Because it's a partnership and it's really up to you how you would like to proceed. And this is basically the last slide of the presentation. We're going to open it up for questions. Again, I just want to leave this up for just a few more seconds. Phone number 502-852-8009. Bobby Cortez at Louisville.edu if you want to leave me an email. But yeah, feel free to, let me stop sharing that. I'm going to open it up for questions. And I'm going to go ahead and just put my email in here really fast in case nobody got it. But Jaja, Harvin, there's Duca. You guys have any questions for me at the moment?
You pretty much answered all my questions I had.
That's cool. I will put that down in writing and I will give it to my boss. Let them know. But yeah, if you all do think of anything, like I said, here's my email. It's probably the best way to get a hold of me because being a recruiter and admissions and things like that, we're typically running around all over the place. So I'm not always in the office. But if you shoot me an email, I typically will be able to get back with people at the latest of 2 days. Um, I've got about 120 emails to get to today since getting back from vacation. So I'm gonna work my way through those. But yeah, I appreciate y'all being here. I really, really do. Um, like I said again in the beginning, I know some of y'all weren't here, but I truly believe in the work. Um, it takes somebody who's very passionate about social work to want to dedicate their lives to creating change in others, in the communities and the families that really make up the communities that we live in. So I've seen the impact. I've felt the impact. I just want to thank y'all for being here and being willing to spend your afternoon with us. But if you all don't have any questions, you're free to do your own thing. Have a good day. It's pretty outside. Um, and I hope to see you all soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
very
Have a good
welcome.
day.
You as well.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.